Hi guys,
Hi.
it's Rachel and Isabella.
Hello, I'm her roommate.
And best friend for life. Okay, so if I go on my phone, it's because all my questions and keynotes are on my phone. But basically, we're doing this like podcast type thing as my genre remix project, and like we're basing it off of my writing narrative, which my writing narrative was based off of that cancer is my sponsorship in life. And so I just thought it would be interesting to get Isabella's kind of side take from it because we did go to high school together, and it's really weird that we weren't like that great of friends. Like we were acquaintances, like we would say hey when we saw it. Yeah, mutuals is the perfect way to describe it. So I thought it would be interesting to get her take of like when she first heard that I was sick and like all these different things. I thought it'd be interesting to get her take, and then especially now that she's known me for a really long time, like how she thinks it's changed me, and then like seeing like how my health like now and like how I had a scare last semester. So I just thought it would be interesting. What did you think the first time you heard of me being sick? Like, was it crazy that I was so young? Like, what was your first initial reaction? Like, I know it's a long time ago.
Yeah. Definitely, I mean, it's a given, like, you just feel so bad. And it's also because I feel like freshman year, we had, like, those little FaceTime calls. Like, we were close, but not close. And
because of COVID, like, you couldn't go anywhere.
COVID definitely, like, altered a lot of my friendships. And so we had distance between us. And then whenever we reconnected, it was like, oh my God, you're going through all of this stuff. But I'm such a person where, like I get you don't want sympathy. Like, it's just the reality of the situation. So, like, it was more like, I just want to treat you like a normal person.
Yes,
like, that was mindset.
And that was, like, the point I was literally about to get at next. So, like, the 4th of July was the first time I went outside of my house, like, and hung out with a group of people ever since I, like, found out. And that I found out in, like, May. So, I mean, that's a pretty long period of not seeing people, especially after we had gone through COVID, and then we started finally hanging out with people again, and then it, like, pushed me back. But I just remember, like, she kind of made it normal. Like, you know, and so this, like, goes, like, we're fast forwarding into junior year. Like, did you think of me, because, like, junior year, I feel like we were friends, but, like, I didn't really talk to many people. So what did you think of me junior year? Like, did you think that I was the sick kid, or, like, how did you see me?
No, honestly, even to this day, like, I've never seen you as, like a sick kid. Like, I've never seen you as your sickness, you know? Like, even now when you bring it up, I'm like, or even we used to work together in the summer, and she once went into depth about her whole experience, and it's like, wow, now it's like, it just like pulls at my heart. But at the same time, I never really realized the severity of like everything you went through, you know, because like you're a very like outgoing person, and whenever like I talk to you, like I don't see like the traumatic experiences you went through, you know. And so junior year, I don't know, you like just held your head above water so well. Like, I've never seen you in like such a dark place, except for obviously college, like being surrounded with you even more. But yeah, junior year, I never saw you as someone who like went through all of that.
That was my biggest fear, was like being known as a sick kid. Like, I wrote about it in my paper. That was it's like a 2-part question, so it's gonna be like back then, and then it's gonna be the future. Do you think I was more quiet when I was sick, like in high school?
Honestly, yeah.
I wouldn't talk in class as much. Like, second part, like, okay, over the summer we got close, like this past summer. You could tell I was a yapper, like I like to yap a lot. Do you think last semester when I had a scare, like, so basically to put you guys in perspective, like over fall break I had a CT scan and it showed up there was a tumor on my liver, and well, now there's 2, but it's like benign, it's fine now. But we didn't know that at the time. Do you think I got more quiet after that scare? Like, do you think I stopped talking to you less?
I wouldn't say stop talking to me less, but it was the way you were talking, you know. Like, you could see like the place you were in. You could see like that you had like a cloud over your head, like that you just like like emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
the way you talked, it would always get me like, oh, like not that you're helpless, but
yeah,
I mean, it's hard to kind of fight against like the reality of a situation, which is like, I mean, it's a health issue. You can't really give a solution for that. But, and it was also the fact that you were jumping into college, like already you're just like a human trying to adjust to like a new life. And now you have on top of that, like things coming back from the past. And it was like, you just couldn't start over.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I could like compare it to now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she like wakes up like screaming, like ready to start the day. And like back then it was more like, honestly, I could see you getting quiet because you would sleep.
Knowing me then and knowing me now, like comparing these again, like what? Okay, actually,
Knowing you then as in like high school.
Mm-hmm. Like, what do you think a huge difference from this that I've learned from? Like, what do you think is like the biggest life lesson that you think I've learned? Not life lesson, just like something in general. Like it can
like
be in
based on
like because like getting told in high school and then getting told this time like in college, like how do you think that's like changed me as a person?
I mean, I could see in a way, like not saying it as a bad thing, but you tend to like take life not as serious. Like you live in the moment, like you, like, is that kind of what you're saying? Yeah. Like definitely your attitude has changed. I know you were talking about how like in high school, I mean, that was like a first time for literally everything you went through. Mm-hmm. And so whenever that scare did happen, it was like you knew what to expect, which is one of the main reasons like put you in a dark space. Mm-hmm. But then like overcoming that, your attitude has changed like insanely, like even from those like high school times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's in the way like you react to things or like you act, like you take advantage of opportunities or like you try to reach out and make new friends, like that was kind of you in high school, but you were kind of more enclosed at the same time. Like I wouldn't see you out. We got a lot of distance between us at first because we weren't like surrounded by the same people. Like you didn't really go out of your way to like be around a lot of people, and now it's like you have the opportunity, you go for it because like you see life in a different lens.
No, and for sure I think also too, like I think when you start college you're such a different person. Like my biggest thing when I came to college is like, this is behind me, like I don't have to tell anyone here. Like obviously they can tell from my scars or whatever, but I don't have to tell anyone here. And like I think my biggest thing was like, it's over now, like even though it clearly isn't and it's never going to be over. Yeah, but I think now like tying more into my paper as well, so like it's all about like literacy. Like how did your sponsor help you like learn a new literacy as well? Do you think I've become a health freak since I was sick? Like really looking what I put in my body, like how I eat, working out, etc.
Well, it's kind of like I don't have like a one answer, like yes or no. But compared to myself or like anyone I know, oh my gosh, this girl will be like, let me eat some zucchini, or what is it, spaghetti squash, yeah. Like her all her gluten-free options. Like no, you wake up, even she is always fueling her body. Like she's never,
the amount of vitamins I take.
Yeah, that too. You're always doing good by your body. Yeah, everything you put into your body, you know it's good for you. And you always have protein, you have like fruits, vegetables.
Because like in our class we talked about how important movement was for like learning and schooling, and I swear like last semester when I had my scare, I like stopped going to the gym as much because I was literally like stuck to my bed. I was depressed. And like honestly, after that last scare, like I go to the gym every day. And as soon as like, because like the way I look at it, I remember this first run I ever had like after chemo. I literally looked at that run as a gift of life. Like, yeah, wow, I was not able to breathe. Like I was not able to breathe at one point, and now I can run. What? Like,
I don't know. And also like first semester, I mean, you always made a goal for yourself to go to the gym, and whenever you really physically and just mentally couldn't, and it's not that it's that you
that
couldn't,
was
not
hard.
even that you didn't want to.
Yeah.
That also put you in a worse spot. And looking at it now, like, she plans in the gym every single day. Like, let me wake up early. She looks forward to the gym, and afterwards it puts her like in such a good mood, and then she eats well. Like, it's a good routine.
It was also like actually, like, when I felt I didn't feel physically well either. Like, it wasn't just mentally too, it was physically. But I also like link literally not being able to work out to depression, and we've talked about this so many times in my class about like how much like worse your anxiety is if you're not like walking or going to the gym or whatever it is. Not for like, there's other health benefits besides like looking the way you want,
but it's like a body to mind connection.
Yes,
like,
and that's exactly what we've been talking about in our class, which is so like interesting. Okay, so this is kind of like a loaded question. Like, prepare yourself.
I'm prepared.
Do you think I would be like, how different do you think I would be if I didn't get sick?
A completely different person.
For sure.
Like, I feel that goes for everyone. Like, it's off. I mean, not awful to say, but that kind of experience changes a person. Like, there's no way it just doesn't have the power to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in your sake, like, I think for the better. Like, I remember talking to my mom, and I was like, oh, I love how like passionate and how much she talks. And she was at a dinner table talking with my friend's mom, like, all about like her sickness and like just everything like in her life. And I was talking to my mom, like, kind of giggling. She's like, if I went through that, of course I would not stop talking. And like, I always will remember that comment, because I'm like, a lot of people call you chatterbox or whatever, but I see it as like,
there was a time I didn't talk, though. There was like I look at it as like, there was a time I literally didn't talk. I would, as soon as I would get home from school, like whenever I was sick, I would just go straight to my room and like watch TV or something. I just didn't talk to anyone. And I didn't talk to anyone at school while I was there, because I was always in like baggier clothes. Like, I was so embarrassed of like how sick I really was. And so I don't know, I just like, also I'd get out of breath talking, and like my chemo brain, oh my gosh, like, you don't understand. Like, if you think I forget stuff now, it was so bad. Like, the second someone would interrupt me, I would forget my train of thought, or I would be speaking to someone and I would forget my train of thought. So I stopped talking. Like, I think that was a huge part of like me not talking, was like chemo brain being a side effect, because I watching me go through it. So like, my audience of my paper, it's not to make people feel pity for me. I never want that. I just want people to understand genuinely like what it's like to go through these things, because
and also it's your story. I mean,
and I'm proud to tell my story. I don't need to tell my story and like get pity from it. Like, that's never what I want, and I'll never use, like, sometime, I'm not gonna name a name, but someone literally told me I was so lucky because I have good scholarship essays. Like, that's not what I want to use this story for. Like, I want to use this story to show the person I am, and like, I think it gives a good background on like how the person I am. And so like, my whole audience, like, the whole purpose of it is to explain, like, to help people understand what chemo is like and what people are going through. And like, I seriously, do you think like living with me and being best friends with me like helped you understand what it was like? Like, even when you see like my neuropathy now, like, you know, I'm not well, like, that wasn't a lie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I hadn't even really had experience with being surrounded by people that have gone through like these transformative like experiences, that had to go through these hardships. Like, my grandma had cancer, but like, you never see, I mean, you do see people your age, but like, I was never like directly like surrounded by it. I feel like back at home, like, I don't know, from our school, you don't.
It was so weird.
Yeah, it was new for everyone, like, shocking, but like, you made it feel normal.
So like, going back to sponsorships, like, you know, people can be a sponsorship, like, diseases can be a sponsorship. Like, these people can either help or hinder you. Like, honestly, I think after last semester, it's so funny because like, once again, we were not that, like, we literally lived in the same hometown. Like, we lived 10 minutes away from each other, and we're not that good of like we were friends, but not that good of, like, the way we are now. And so, honestly, like, after last semester, and, like, that was literally, if I could write that paper over, I would add, like, Isabella as, like, one of my sponsors, too. Because genuinely, like, I explained to my parents how they need to pay her. Because, like, last semester, she'd be like, let's get up. Let's go for a walk. Or, why don't we go try, like, let's go get an empanada or whatever it is. Like, whatever it is. And, like, genuinely, like, when I say I was so excited to leave that part of my story behind me, like, I think college made me realize, like, it's not going away. It's not. But you do have to. Yeah. Like, you do have to. And, like, obviously some days you can't embrace it. Like, 100%. Whatever. But I think, like, when you have good friends by your side, it's literally one of the best things.
Your support system, I mean, it could honestly, like, save your life. You know?
Like, the first time, I had a great support system with me. I just didn't utilize it. Like, and I think the second...
That's also something you learned now. Like, the second time around, it's like, I can lean on these people. Like, they are there for me. Like, wow, they make me feel better. They can help you through this, you know?
But it was also, like, it was so hard for me to trust people. Like, it still is, but it was so hard for me to trust people because, like, I mean, like, I got bullied. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I never, like, always had a really good group of friends.
And this is the first time you had to open up your circle. I mean, this is, like, a whole new, like, setting for you and everything.
Yeah. And honestly, like, sorry. But, like, just seeing how much, like, and I think also, like, how it's affected my life has affected your life as well. You know what I mean? And, like, literally,
no, like, your mindset, even when hearing things, is like, what's the next step? Like, you're proactive, if that's the word. Like, you're acting on it. Like, if it's figuring out something with financial things, like school, like, you're not dwelling in it anymore.
Okay, passion. So everyone will tell me, like, how passionate of a person I am. Like, even like my professor for this class, Dr. Meg.
Like, political issues, what to eat, like,
and, like,
anything on the planet.
I think honestly this class too has, like, helped me, like, understand when to fire the passion and when not to. And I think Isabella has too. And genuinely, like, because last semester, if I was passionate about it, I would just say it, like, da-da-da. And I think, honestly, my disease, like, not that I wasn't a passionate person before. I was super, like, always out there. Like,
you had your opinions.
Yeah.
And you stuck to them. Yeah.
And, like, I think after this, because, so, the whole time leading up to getting diagnosed, I was literally, like, told I had COVID, told I had eating disorder, like, all these different things. People were telling me I was insane. Like, insane. And I started... And I think what led to such a fiery passion was always being told other things. And it wasn't the truth. And so, because I had to be my advocate, like, my own advocate at such a young age, like, I think that's why I'm such a passionate person. And that's why I think it was so hard at first. Like, especially, like, into senior year, I got walked all over, too. And, like, I think, like, when I came to college, I was like, nope.
You were ready to, like, break that off.
Yeah, I was done with that. Like, doctors have ran all over me, like, people, like, it was just not what I wanted anymore. So I think, like, like, cancer made me into a passionate person, but I also think, like, it kind of made me too much of a passionate person. And then I think that's where it hindered me. And then I think that's where Isabella, like, stepped in and was like, okay, like, we don't have to, like, get so mad about that, you know? Right. Like, we watched a lot of TED Talks in our class, and we watched this TED Talk about your body language might shape who you are. So this is, like, a weird question, because I don't know if you remember this, but, like, do you think last semester, whenever, like, you saw me the first couple weeks, right? Like, happy, giddy, whatever, and then whenever I was told I had a scare again, do you think, like, my body posture changed, my body language? Do you think I, like, started slouching more? Do you think I, like, wasn't as confident in myself? Like,
yeah. Oh, actually, for sure. I think this is such, like, an easy question to answer. I could see you moving through life at such a slow pace. I don't know if that makes sense, but
college, do you think, okay, this is also another question about your perspective. Like, okay, now that I'm in college, I literally don't care that I miss so many football games.
Yeah.
Like, it does not matter now.
No, 100%. Because I also feel like, I mean, I saw her during senior year. That's whenever we started getting closer, and
because we did teacher cadet.
Mm-hmm, and she would cry in class about, like her frustration about like not being invited to certain places, or I don't know, because she went through such a hard time. So like now during senior year, when she had the certain opportunities and wouldn't get them, it was really it was so sad to see. You know,
it was hard. It like hurt.
She wanted it, but then it's like she goes into college and she realizes that's not what makes up her identity. Like, you know,
100%. And also like cancer isn't my identity either. Like I have all these scars. It like made me into the person who I am, but I also have like several other factors that made me into the person I am. Like literally just being around her, like you like, you know what I'm saying? Like you become a different person when you're around people that, and like I swear I feel like if I had someone like Isabella while I was doing it, I feel like it would have been a different outlook. Because like, okay, not trying to get sappy. Seeing me and like seeing how I act, has it changed like your perspective on like being thankful for the little things?
100%.
Like I know I set that question up for you, but like,
no, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a day that went on where like I haven't woken up and just like appreciated the fact that like I'm breathing or like awake. I feel like every morning ever since I started waking up right next to you, even because I saw you in such a dark space, and even during that I was not saying like wow I'm lucky, but
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like I was never a complainer. I feel like that's why we go so good together. Not saying you're a complainer, but
I also get like,
because of your passion, like you're so opinionated. Me, I just live life like such on a flow that you have taught me to like stand my ground, like be more opinionated, be
like
more
be an advocate. Yeah,
and
like I don't think it hindered me. Like I genuinely, like I know this sounds so weird, but I'm so thankful that like. I'm not thankful like I went like I don't know how to explain this, but I'm so thankful for the person I've become after experiencing this, like and experiencing a scare a second time. Like it was so hard, and it's so frustrating. Like healthcare in general is so frustrating.
I would get so frustrated for you when you couldn't get a phone call back from the doctor. It was just such a waiting game.
Yeah, that's the podcast.
Bye. But yeah, this is my best friend. Wait, what's the thing? The end. Wait, was that all the questions? Is that it?
Yeah.
Wait, should we... Like, I feel like we lacked a conclusion. Like...
Oh, yeah, we can conclude it. Okay, but, like, my writing narrative is a piece, like, I'm really proud to read. Like, I actually had Isabella read over it. Like, I'm so proud of my story, and it's not to get pity from anyone. Like, sorry, I just realized, like, how sick I sound. Like, I have a congested nose. Like, this is not my voice.
Yeah, we're freshmen in dorms, so.
Yeah, there you go. It's not to get pity from anyone. I'm never looking for pity. Like, I just want people to realize, like, why I'm so passionate and why I'm so strong is because I went through difficult times, and, like, that is the person why. And, like, when people want to judge me based off the actions I do, it's like, no, thank you. Like, you know, the way I choose to live my life is because of the things that have happened in my life and, like, my disease, like, but I think of, like, that as a sponsor, but, like, once again, like I said, like, honestly, if I could rewrite that paper, I also think I could include Isabella as a sponsor as well. If we could, like, talk about 2 sponsors, just because it, like, people change your life or things change your life, and, like, genuinely, I think she's changed it in such a positive way of, like, not that I didn't look at a more positive outlook, but I think she helped me achieve that by, like, just the things she would say and, like, how we would just laugh. Like, I was like, wow, this is so nice, because I didn't have that the first time, and, like, and it's not that my parents weren't there for me. My parents were there for me 100% all the time. It was just, like, I wasn't open to.
Like, not everything has to have so much pressure behind it or be so serious, or there's always, like, I don't know.
You know what people will say is, like, wow, you've been through so much at such a young age. I genuinely think that was the biggest blessing that I was that young. Like, genuinely.
Honestly.
Because I did not care. I thought I knew everything. I thought I was always right, which always am. But, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
because, like, a time to have the mindset you
when
have
you're going
is
in
now.
puberty, when
like,
you're going through puberty and you're a teenager, like, you think you rule the world. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, okay. They were like, your liver's gonna fail. I said, no, it's not. Like, now I have problems with my liver. But, you know, like, like,
So
like,
that's it.
Like, that's what I mean by that. It's like, how different, like, if when I heard the scare the second time, like, it was so different because now I had more responsibilities. I'm in college. Like, I could not imagine being 30 with, like, kids and, like, hearing that.
It disrupts your whole life.
Like, you have to pay bills and stuff. Like, I was fortunate enough to, like, where I was at home and my parents, and I think that was a huge difference this time. Was what was 10 times harder, like, the second scare, was I couldn't just go talk to my parents about it. Like, my dad and I have the most open and honest conversations, and I couldn't just go to him. I could call him. Like, obviously he answered his phone a lot more because I was like, I had to call him every time I missed class.
It's not the same because also they don't see it firsthand. You don't want to worry them. You're on your own.
Right, and that was my thing when I was at home. I didn't want to worry them. But then, like, I don't know. I think it was so bad last semester, I wasn't even thinking about that, to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
And, like, my dad would be like, I saw this, like, Rachel was always half glass full. Yes? Half glass full. And now she's becoming half glass empty. And it's not pretty to see. And it wasn't. I mean...
No, but we're filling her cup up.
We're back.
No, wait, it's an hour.
Yeah, I probably have to edit a lot of this. But basically, thanks Isabella for coming on my podcast. I actually, you don't understand how excited I was when she said you could do a podcast.
Yeah, I was like, duh. I've been dying to just, like, talking into a screen is probably my top 5 favorite things to do.
For sure. So on that note, peace.